Stood in front of the mirror for longer than I should, trying to find the woman I remembered that I could. She had a different smile, she had a different light. She wasn't afraid of leaving when something wasn't right. I searched inside my eyes for the person I once knew, but all I saw were pieces of the life I built with you. I don't know when it happened, I don't know where I changed, when my own reflection started feeling strange. How can someone look familiar and still feel far away? I forgot my own face while loving you. I forgot the dreams I was born to pursue. I became the silence, I became the pain, I became the person who never complained. Now I'm learning slowly through the tears I hide. The woman I was missing was standing inside. The piano cries softly like a heartbeat in the dark. The acoustic guitar whispers to a forgotten spark. Your memories are fading, your words are losing sound, but the love I need to find is the one that brings me around. I don't need to pretend you were a part of my journey, but not where I end. I can't hold what was beautiful, I can't release what hurts. I can finally remember what I was worth. I forgot my own face, but I'm seeing it again. Through the quiet mornings, through the nights that never end. I am not the broken pieces, I am not yesterday. I am the woman learning how to choose her own way. Hello, reflection. I know you've been waiting, I know you've been tired, I know you've been breaking, but I see you now. I hear your heart, the ending of one love can be a brand new start. I know my own face now, I know my own name. I carry all the memories, but I don't carry the same pain. I lost someone I loved, I lost a world we knew, but I found the woman who was always true. Was always true. I thought I lost myself, but I was only hidden, waiting for my own eyes to see me. kept the fire burning long after you were gone. I held on to the ashes, trying to keep us warm. I fed it with my patience, I fed it with my tears, I fed it with the pieces of my disappearing years. You said you needed healing, you said you needed time, so I gave you all my daylight and buried all of mine. I stood beside your darkness and called it being strong, but I didn't notice I had been cold all along. I was protecting a flame that only burned me. I was the fire I kept alive alone, the only heartbeat inside an empty home. I carried the memories, I carried the pain. I kept saying tomorrow would make you stay. You were the storm I called a shelter, the wound I defended from everybody else. Now the ashes are falling, but I'm finally free. The fire I kept alive was always meant to be me. I remember the evenings when silence filled the room, when I stared at the ceiling, waiting for something new. A message on my phone, a reason to believe, a sign that all the hurting wasn't happening to me. But love became a question that I never could solve. Why was I always fighting for someone who was gone? I gave you my forgiveness before you even changed. I kept opening the door while you kept walking away. I was the fire I kept alive alone, the light in the darkness when nobody came home. I burned through my feelings, I burned through my pride, I burned every piece of me just to keep you alive. But flames need oxygen and hearts need care. You can't build forever when only one person is there. Tonight I let the fire rest, I don't need it anymore. I don't need to keep waiting beside a broken door. The girl who saved everybody forgot she needed saving too. Now she's putting all the pieces back where they belong. I was the fire I kept alive alone, but I found my own warmth when I stopped chasing home. The ashes are memories, the smoke is the past. The heart that survived you is finally coming back. You were a chapter, you were a scar, you were the darkness that showed me my stars. I thought I was keeping us alive, but I was only keeping myself burning. Your goodbye wasn't loud, it didn't break the glass. No screaming at the doorway, no final photograph. You just slowly disappeared while standing next to me. And somehow that was harder than losing you completely. Your coffee cup is gone now, your clothes are packed away, but your ghost still knows the hallway and the places where I stayed. I tried to burn the memories, I tried to let them die, but ashes have a way of floating back at night. Some people leave their bodies, but never leave your mind. You're the ghost of your goodbye, walking through my dreams, living in the silence between the spaces in my screams. I don't call your number, I don't chase your light, but my heart still searches for you every night. You were my favorite mistake, my sweetest kind of pain, the storm I kept praying for while standing in the rain. I found your old letter inside a wooden drawer. Read it like a stranger, then read it once more. Funny how the words can change when your heart finally sees. Sometimes love is just a beautiful lie we tell ourselves to breathe. I was your safe place, your shelter from the cold, but nobody warned me shelters can grow old. I gave you every sunrise, every piece of my soul. You left me with a shadow and a heart full of holes. You're the ghost of your goodbye, but I'm learning not to fear the sound of your memory when the night is closing near. I don't need your apology, I don't need your truth, I just need the strength to stop missing you. Maybe I love the dream more than I love the man. Maybe I held on to forever with an empty hand. Maybe losing you was the only way to find the person I buried, trying to make you mine. You're the ghost of your goodbye, but ghosts eventually fade. Even the darkest shadows disappear when morning breaks. I'll keep the lessons, I'll release the pain, I'll stop searching for sunshine inside a hurricane. You were the love I couldn't leave until I remembered I was someone worth coming home to. There was a girl inside me who wanted to be seen. She had a heart full of colors. She had 1,000 dreams. She wasn't always quiet. She wasn't always afraid. She wasn't just the tears that she learned to hide away. But then I learned your sadness, I learned your lonely nights. I became the person who always made things right. I covered up my feelings, I buried every word. I became invisible so you would never hurt. I spent so long protecting love, I forgot to protect myself. I was the girl I hid from the world, the one behind the silence, the one behind the hurt. I gave away my heartbeat, I gave away my voice. I forgot that I was someone before I made that choice. Now I'm opening the windows, letting in the light, finding all the pieces I left behind. The piano cries softly, like rain upon the floor. The acoustic guitar whispers through the memories we stored. I see my old reflection, I see my younger eyes, the girl who dreamed of flying before she learned to hide. I don't blame the love we shared, I don't blame the pain. Every broken moment helped me grow again. But I won't spend forever trying to prove my worth. The right love will never ask me to disappear on earth. I am the girl I hid from the world, and now I am becoming the woman I deserve. I still have all my scars, I still have rainy days, but I finally know my heart will never fade away. Come out of hiding, my beautiful soul. You don't need another person to make you whole. The girl you abandoned is waiting inside. She never stopped loving you, she never said goodbye. I found the girl I hid from the world. She was never broken, she was never lost. She was just waiting quietly through every storm and cost. I lost a love story, I lost what we knew, but I found the greatest love, the love I have for you. I spent years hiding, but my heart was always waiting to be found. She used to introduce herself with a smile in her eyes. She used to chase the moonlight. She used to touch the sky. She had 1,000 stories. She had 1,000 dreams. She was more than just a heartbeat waiting to be seen. Then she learned your silence. Then she learned your pain. She started changing pieces just to make you stay. She stopped saying her own name. She stopped asking why. She became a quiet whisper living deep inside. She wasn't broken, she was just forgotten. She stopped saying her own name while calling out for you. She forgot the things she loved. She forgot the things she knew. She became a fading shadow. She became a lonely flame. She lost herself completely, trying to carry your name. Now she's learning how to speak again, learning how to breathe, learning that the heart she gave away still belongs to me. The piano cries softly like rain on an empty street. The acoustic guitar whispers to the soul beneath her feet. Your memories still echo through the walls of yesterday, but your voice is getting quieter with every step away. She doesn't need your rescue. She doesn't need your hand. She is finally understanding who she was before the end. The love was never worthless. The memories were true, but losing herself forever was something she won't do. She stopped saying her own name, but she remembers now. The girl beneath the sadness is finding her way out. She is not just someone's lover. She is not just someone's pain. She is a whole universe with a beautiful name. Say your name softly, let the world hear you. The dreams you bury still belong to you. The heart you abandoned still beats the same. The girl you forgot is calling your name. She says her own name now, without fear, without shame. She found the little girl who survived the rain. She lost someone she loved. She lost her world somehow, but she found the strongest version of herself right now. because I was trying to be yours. Now I remember I was always mine. I found a letter yesterday, written by my younger hands. A girl who had 1,000 dreams, a girl who had a plan. She wrote about the future, she wrote about being free. She wrote about a life where she could finally be me. I read those words so slowly, with tears falling down my face, because I couldn't remember the girl who wrote that page. Somewhere inside our story, somewhere inside your arms, I left my heart behind and forgot where it was. I spent so long looking for you, I forgot to look for me. I left my heart behind, somewhere I can't find, between the words I love you and the moments I lost my mind. I gave you every piece of me, I gave you every part, but I forgot the most important thing, to protect my own heart. Now I'm walking through the memories, trying to find the girl I knew, the one who existed before she became you. The piano cries softly, like a lonely winter rain. The acoustic guitar whispers through the echoes of my pain. The walls remember laughter, the floor remembers tears, the house remembers everything. I tried to disappear. I don't blame the love we had, I don't erase the past. Some beautiful things can break, even when they were real. But I won't lose another lifetime trying to make someone stay. I won't abandon myself just to be someone's yesterday. I left my heart behind, but I found it in the dark. A little piece still beating, a little fading spark. It was waiting underneath the sadness and the scars, reminding me that I was always more than who you are. Hello, old heart, I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry I ignored you when you needed me the most. Thank you for surviving every lonely night. Thank you for reminding me there is still a light. I found my heart again, slowly, piece by piece, through the quiet mornings, through the moments of peace. I lost a love forever, I lost a part of time. for the love I lost, until I realized I was searching for myself. I found an old photograph hidden inside a drawer. A girl with a fearless smile I don't recognize anymore. She looked like she believed that the world could be kind. She looked like she trusted the voice inside her mind. I wonder when I changed, I wonder when I fell, when loving somebody else meant losing myself. I learned to hide my feelings, I learned to say I'm okay. I learned how to disappear without walking away. I was still breathing, but I wasn't really there. I became someone I never knew, a stranger wearing my heart because of you. I forgot my favorite songs, I forgot my favorite dreams, I forgot the girl I was before everything. Now I'm picking up the pieces from the person I used to be, trying to bring her back, trying to set her free. The piano cries softly like rain across the floor. The acoustic guitar whispers through the empty bedroom door. Your memories still linger like perfume in the air, but I am learning slowly I was always there. I don't wanna erase you, I don't wanna forget. You were a part of my story, a chapter I won't regret. But I cannot keep living inside the life we knew, because somewhere along the way I stopped being true. I became someone I never knew, but I am finding my way back to what is true. The girl beneath the sadness, the heart beneath the scars, the woman who was waiting among the broken parts. I hold my younger self like a fragile memory. I say I'm sorry I forgot you, I'm sorry I couldn't see. You were never too much, you were never hard to love. You were always enough before anyone came along. I am becoming someone I finally know, not the girl from yesterday, not the ghost from long ago. I carry all my memories, I carry what we went through, but I finally recognize became someone I never knew. But now I am learning her name again. I became someone I was afraid to meet. I used to know my laughter before I lost my voice, before every decision felt like a painful choice. I knew how to love you, I knew how to stay, I knew how to apologize for things you took away. I watched myself fading a little every night, turning off my colors to make your darkness bright. I thought I was disappearing, I thought I was gone, but something in the silence was becoming strong. Sometimes the person you fear becoming is the person who saves you. I became someone I was afraid to meet, a woman with scars, a woman still breathing. She doesn't beg for love, she doesn't chase goodbye, she doesn't lose herself just to make someone stay alive. I thought my broken pieces were proof I had failed, but they became the foundation where I rebuilt myself. The piano cries softly like rain against the glass. The pedal still remembers the shadows of my past. The acoustic guitar whispers the secrets I concealed, all the nights I was hurting, all the wounds I never healed. The bedroom feels different, the walls don't know my pain, the memories are fading like footprints in the rain. Depression was a river that pulled me far away, but I learned how to swim and find another day. The old me survived so the new me could begin. I became someone I was afraid to meet. Not perfect, not fearless, but finally complete. I stopped looking backward for the person I lost. I found her in the mirror after paying the cost. To the woman I became, I know you carry scars, I know you remember how dark those nights were. But look how far you've traveled, look how much you've grown. You built a life from ashes, you built yourself a home. I became someone I was afraid to meet, the girl who survived, the woman piano fades into a midnight rain. I felt afraid of who I would become, until I realized she was the one who saved me. I opened an old journal with my handwriting inside, but the words felt like they belonged to somebody else that night. She wrote about the future, she wrote about her dreams, she wrote about a world where she was finally free. I wonder where she went, I wonder where she hides, the girl who used to laugh before she learned to cry. I followed every road that was leading back to you, and somewhere along the way I disappeared too. I was so busy being yours, I forgot I was my own. I became a stranger in my own story, a face in the mirror that didn't feel like me. I knew every chapter, I knew every line, but I couldn't remember when I lost my mind. I gave you my heartbeat, I gave you my soul, but I never noticed I was losing control. The piano cries softly, like rain inside the room. The acoustic guitar whispers a song about the truth. The walls still hold the echoes of everything we were, but the loudest sound remaining is my own forgotten voice. I don't hate the memories, I don't wish them away. They were part of the journey that brought me here today. But I miss the woman who looked at the sky and believed she was worthy without asking why. I became a stranger in my own story, but maybe the ending isn't written completely. Maybe the girl I thought I lost forever is waiting inside me, getting stronger together. I forgive the heart that loved too much, I forgive the hands that held on too long, I forgive the girl who thought she wasn't enough. She was only trying to find where she belonged. Now I am writing a different story, one where my name still belongs to me. I lost a person, I lost a dream, but I found the voice that was buried beneath. I thought I was lost because you were gone, but gave you my mornings, I gave you my nights, I gave you the pieces I kept hidden inside. I carried your storms like they belonged to me, while my own little heartbeat was begging to breathe. I became your shelter, I became your home, but somewhere along the way I forgot my own. I looked in the mirror and saw someone tired, a woman made of ashes, still searching for fire. I thought everything was gone until I heard something still beating. There was a part of me you couldn't destroy, a tiny little flame buried underneath the noise. You took my confidence, you took my dreams, you took the girl who thought love meant everything, but you couldn't take the heart inside my chest, the part of me that refused to disappear. The piano cries softly like rain on old wood, the pedal steel bends slowly like a heart trying to heal. The acoustic guitar whispers through the empty room, reminding me gently that I still exist. The photographs are fading, the memories lose their color, the pain that once controlled me is becoming something smaller. Depression still visits on the coldest nights, but I leave the window open for a little bit of light. Healing doesn't always look like happiness. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed. There was a part of me you couldn't destroy, even when I was broken, even when I lost my voice. I thought I was empty, I thought I was done, but deep in the darkness I was still someone. I forgive the woman who stayed in the storm. She was only trying to protect something warm. She didn't know leaving could also be love. She didn't know herself was enough. There is a part of me you couldn't destroy. It is quieter now, but it still has a voice. It doesn't scream, it doesn't fight, it just keeps breathing through the night. And someday, when the morning comes, I'll thank the woman who survived, but felt so much from me. But you never took the part of me that was always mine. opened after the night you left. The morning kept arriving, but I stayed with the wreck. The sunlight touched the doorway, then slowly walked away. Like even the sky understood there was nothing left to say. Your side of the mattress still carries a shame, a ghost made from memories that time couldn't erase. I changed the sheets 100 times, I cleaned every room, but some things aren't in the house, they're buried inside you. I wasn't afraid of being alone, I was afraid I would stay this way forever. This is the bedroom where the sun forgot to shine, where I lost pieces of myself trying to keep you mine. The walls know every secret, the floor knows every tear, the silence knows the words I never said out loud in fear. You became a shadow I couldn't outrun. I became somebody I didn't recognize. The mirror by the window still catches my reflection. A woman made of memories and quiet imperfection. I used to sing while cooking, I used to dance barefoot, before I learned that love could become a kind of hurt. I counted every warning, I ignored every sign, I called it understanding when I was losing my mind. I thought if I looked harder, you would finally see, but drowning beside someone still means you cannot breathe. This is the bedroom where my heartbeat disappeared, where I traded all my happiness for another year. The blankets hold the cold now, the pillow holds the rain. The night keeps asking questions that don't have answers anymore. Tonight I open the curtains and let the morning in, not because I forgot you, but because I want to begin. The dust can keep the memories, the walls can keep the scars. I don't need a broken room to prove how strong we were. This is the bedroom where the darkness used to stay, but the sun came through the window and found me anyway. The woman in the mirror is slowly coming back. She's not who she was before, but she's stronger than that. I thought you took the light. I thought you took the light. But the light was never yours. It was always waiting inside me. Inside me. never goes out anymore. I tell myself it's nothing, just a habit from before. The coffee pot is waiting for 2 cups instead of 1. Even after all this time, my hands forget you're gone. The old clock keeps on ticking, like it doesn't know we broke. Its little hands keep circling while mine just hold your ghost outside the fields of sleeping. Wrapped beneath the moon, inside this empty house, morning never comes too soon. Some nights silence sits beside me like it paid the rent. The light in my kitchen never goes out. Maybe I'm still hoping you'll figure this out. Maybe I'm afraid of what darkness will say when there's nothing left to keep your memory awake. So I leave one window glowing for a love that lost its way, while another part of me slowly fades away. The floorboards know my footsteps before I make a sound. Even this old house can hear me breaking down. Your favorite chair is empty, but I never move its place. It's easier to lose the years than lose your shape. The wind outside keeps calling through the cracks in every door, like the night itself remembers who I was before. I wonder if tomorrow will finally feel new, or if another sunrise will still belong to you. The light in my kitchen still burns all night, trying to convince my heart everything's alright. But electricity can't warm these bones, and every room reminds me I'm here alone. Maybe healing looks nothing like a miracle. Maybe it begins the first night I reach for the switch without looking back. Maybe courage is a quiet thing. Tonight I'll let the kitchen fall dark, not because I stopped loving, but because I found one tiny spark. The stars outside can carry the light. I don't have to keep fighting the night. The love we had will always be true, but I don't have to stay awake waiting for you. Waiting for you. The hardest goodbye wasn't to you, it was to the woman who kept waiting. I waited at the station where we said goodbye, watching old memories pass me by. The clock kept moving forward, but I stayed in that place, holding on to a future that disappeared from your face. The ticket in my head was torn and worn thin, 1,000 little reasons why I couldn't begin. I thought if I waited longer, you would find your way back. But some trains only leave and never return on the track. I spent my whole life waiting for a train that was never coming. I'm taking the last train, leaving yesterday, leaving all the shadows that followed me this way, leaving all the promises that never became true, leaving all the pieces that belong to you. I was carrying a suitcase full of things I couldn't save, but some memories are anchors and some hearts need to break away. The rain on the platform sounds like your voice, telling me forever was still a choice. But forever means nothing when you're standing alone, building a home out of someone else's ghost. I remember the mornings I forgot how to smile, the nights I stayed awake just to wait a little while. I remember forgiving things I shouldn't forgive. I remember forgetting how I wanted to live. I'm taking the last train, leaving yesterday. No more chasing headlights that are fading away. No more calling silence a beautiful sign. No more giving pieces of this heart of mine. Maybe the goodbye wasn't the end of love. Maybe it was the moment I finally woke up. Maybe the empty seat beside me tonight is making room for a better life. I'm taking the last train and I won't look back. The past can't keep the memories, the pain can keep the tracks. The girl who waited forever is finally moving on. She found a little courage inside the place she was gone. I thought I lost you when the train left, but I finally realized person I needed to find was waiting on the platform with me. There was a girl in the mirror, standing where I stand. She had my eyes, she had my hands, but something felt different, something felt gone, like she had been waiting for me all along. I touched the glass slowly, I whispered her name, but the girl looking back didn't feel the same. She carried my memories, she carried my pain, but I couldn't recognize the person she became. How do you find yourself when you don't know where you disappeared? The girl who looked like me was someone I didn't know, a heart full of memories, a face full of ghosts. She lost someone she loved, she lost herself too. She spent all her days trying to become enough for you. Now she's standing alone, trying to remember who she was before forever. Piano cries softly, like rain after midnight. The acoustic guitar whispers through the fading light. The room still remembers the sound of your voice, the nights I kept choosing you over my own choice. I changed my dreams slowly, I changed my name inside. I became the person you wanted by your side. Now the silence is teaching me what I couldn't see. Love should never require losing me. The girl who looked like me is starting to come back, picking up her pieces from the places that cracked. She still has the sadness, she still has the scars, but she remembers now she was always enough. I forgive the reflection that I couldn't understand. She was only surviving with shaking hands. She wasn't broken, she wasn't weak. She was just searching for the love she couldn't keep. The girl who looked like me finally knows my You're the person I lost. I never realized she was looking back at me. I still hear your footsteps when the house gets quiet. Still feel your presence when nobody's beside me. Your coffee cup is gone now, your picture turned away. But some things in a broken heart don't know how to fade. I washed away your memories, I changed the bedroom walls, but love leaves fingerprints when nobody sees them at all. I told myself I'm stronger, I told myself I'm free, but sometimes in the darkness your ghost comes back to me. I don't miss the pain, I miss the person I hoped you would become. You're the ghost you left inside my heart, the shadow I can't hide, the love that disappeared but never really died. I carried your storms, I carried your rain, I carried all the pieces that were breaking me. You were the dream I protected, the nightmare I survived, the ghost inside my heart that I'm finally saying goodbye. I remember your promises like songs from another life, the way you held me close before we learned to fight. I remember all the evenings I cried without a sound, smiling like everything was fine while falling underground. I became your forgiveness, I became your second chance, I became the person who forgot how to stand. I kept waiting for the moment you would finally see that the person you were hurting was the person loving you completely. You're the ghost you left inside my heart, but ghosts cannot stay forever. The wounds you left behind are becoming something better. I don't hate the memories, I don't regret the love, but I won't keep bleeding for something that was gone. Tonight I open the windows, let the cold air in, let the past leave slowly, let the healing begin. I forgive my old heart for holding on so long. It was only trying to believe in something strong. You're the ghost you left inside my heart, but I am not afraid. Woman who survived you is stronger than yesterday. The room is still lonely, the night is still deep, but I don't need your memory to help me fall asleep. I forgot to love. I brought one final flower to the place where we ended, not for the love we lost, but for the girl I abandoned. I placed it on the memories I buried deep inside, the dreams that we created, the tears I tried to hide. I used to visit every night the grave of what we were, searching through the ashes for something that could return. But some things die so quietly, you don't notice when they leave, like the sound of someone's footsteps fading underneath the rain. I wasn't mourning you, I was mourning myself, the person I became. This is the last flower on the grave of the love I couldn't say, the final tear I give away to the promises you made. I carried your memory like a burden on my soul. I carried all your broken pieces, trying to make myself whole. But flowers cannot grow forever where there is no light, and hearts cannot keep surviving through endless lonely nights. This is the last flower on the grave, and now I walk away. I remember when you held me like I was everything, when your voice was my shelter, when your love felt like a dream. But dreams can turn to nightmares when only one person stays, when one heart keeps fighting and the other fades away. I became your forgiveness before you said you were wrong. I became the place you rested when you couldn't stand alone. But when my world was falling, when my tears finally showed, you were already somewhere I didn't even know. This is the last flower on the grave where I buried all my pain, where I stopped asking heaven to bring you back again. I don't hate the memories, I don't regret the time, because even broken love can teach a heart to rise. To the girl who still visits the places where they left, you don't have to keep dying for someone who forgets. You don't have to be a shadow just to make someone shine. You don't have to lose yourself to prove that love is kind. This is the last flower on the grave, but something new will grow, a garden from the ashes that only I can know. longest night of pain. But from the soil of sadness, I grew myself again. I came here to bury our love, but I found something stronger. The part of me that survived without you. I kept the lights on for you, even when you stopped coming home. I kept making space for you, even when I was alone. Your picture on the table, your memory in the hall. I thought if I loved harder, you wouldn't leave at all. I painted every broken wall, I fixed every little crack. I built a place inside my heart, hoping you'd come back. But some people only visit, they never learn your name. They leave behind their fingerprints and walk away the same. I was building forever with someone passing through. You were the house you never planned to stay in, the place where I gave you shelter, the place where I let you in. I gave you my sunrise, I gave you my rain, I gave you every piece of me you couldn't give back the same. Now I'm standing in the silence where your footsteps used to be, learning that an empty room can finally set me free. I remember all the nights I waited by the door, listening for a heartbeat that wasn't there anymore. I blame my imperfections, I blame my broken heart. I thought if I was better, you wouldn't drift apart. I changed the way I talked, I changed the way I cried. I became a smaller version just to keep you by my side. But love isn't supposed to make you beg to be enough. Love isn't supposed to leave you feeling impossible to love. You were the house you never planned to stay in, a beautiful disaster, a story with no ending. I don't hate that I loved you, I don't hate what we were, but I won't keep decorating a place that doesn't belong to her. Tonight I open every window, let the cold air touch my skin, let the memories leave slowly, let a new life begin. The walls still know your secrets, the floor still knows your name, but this house is mine now, and it won't feel the same. You were the house you never planned to stay in, but I was never just a shelter, I was never just a place to begin. you left me empty, but you only left a room. And I finally learned how to fill it with myself. I was afraid of losing you, so I lost myself instead. I swallowed every feeling, I hid every word I said. I became the quiet ocean, I became the empty sky. I became the person who never asked you why. I stopped chasing my dreams, I stopped calling my friends, I stopped being the woman I promised I'd never forget. I thought love meant forever, I thought love meant holding on. I didn't know I was disappearing long before you were gone. The hardest goodbye wasn't watching you leave, it was meeting a stranger I became underneath. I lost the girl I was afraid to lose, the one who had a heartbeat, the one who knew the truth. I saved your heart while mine was breaking too. I spent my whole life trying to be enough for you. Now I'm standing in the silence after everything we knew, trying to find the girl I lost while loving you. The piano cries softly, like rain behind the glass, about a beautiful past. I don't hate the memories, I don't wish them away. They taught me what I needed to finally walk away. I still remember mornings when I loved who I was before I made another person the reason I was enough. Now the mirror is showing me a face I haven't seen, a woman who survived and still has dreams. I lost the girl I was afraid to lose, but she was waiting quietly for me to choose. She wasn't gone forever, she wasn't broken apart, she was hiding underneath the pieces of my heart. I'm sorry I forgot you, I'm sorry I let you fade, I'm sorry I believed you had to leave me saved. You were always worthy, you were always enough, you were never too much for the right kind of love. I found the girl I was afraid to lose. She isn't who she was afraid of losing you, so I lost myself. Now I'm choosing me. I was waiting for myself to come home. I searched for my reflection in somebody else's eyes. I waited for a rescue. I waited for a sign. I thought love would find me and put me back together. I thought someone else's hands could change the weather. I gave away my mornings, I gave away my dreams. I became a quiet river that nobody could see. I was standing in the doorway of a life I couldn't feel, waiting for a stranger to tell me I was real. But the voice I needed was always inside me. I was waiting for myself to come home. After years of feeling like I was alone, I searched through your memories, I searched through your name, but the person I was missing was me all alone. I don't need your permission to finally be free. I don't need another person to prove I'm worthy. The piano cries softly like rain against the wall. The pedal steel is mourning the years I lost it all. The acoustic guitar whispers a forgotten melody about the girl who disappeared, trying to make someone see. The bedroom holds the echoes of every silent night, every tear I swallow, every hidden fight. Depression was a shadow that followed me for years, but shadows lose their power when you stop running from fear. The home I was searching for was never a place, it was the heart I abandoned along the way. I was waiting for myself to come home, to the girl in the mirror I left alone. I picked up the pieces, I learned how to stand, I held my own heart with my own hands. To the woman I forgot, I I know you were tired, I know you were broken, I know you felt expired. But every scar you carry, every tear you cried, was proof that something beautiful stayed alive inside. I am home now, not because someone stayed, not because someone saved me, not because pain went away. I am home now because I finally see the love I was searching for was always me. The felt piano fades beneath gentle rain. The felt piano fades beneath gentle rain. I searched for my reflection in somebody else's eyes. I waited for a rescue. I waited for a sign. I thought love would find me and put me back together. I thought someone else's hands could change the weather. I gave away my mornings, I gave away my dreams. I became a quiet river that nobody could see. I was standing in the doorway of a life I couldn't feel, waiting for a stranger to tell me I was real. But the voice I needed was always inside me. I was waiting for myself to come home. After years of feeling like I was alone, I searched through your memories, I searched through your name. But the person I was missing was me all alone. I thought love would find me and put me back together. You never had to slam the door. You closed me from within. You turned every little question into proof I couldn't win. I learned to doubt my memory, I learned to fear my name. Every time I trusted myself, you taught me I was to blame. I stopped buying flowers, I stopped singing in the car, I stopped looking toward tomorrow, because tomorrow felt too far. By the end, I wasn't your lover anymore. I was only someone trying not to make you angry. Even after you disappeared, your voice stayed behind. You taught my heart to hurt itself long after you were gone. Now every quiet evening feels like I still did something wrong. I apologize to empty rooms, I whisper to the air. I'm still asking your forgiveness, though no stop missing the prison that became my home? How do I untie the chains wrapped around my soul? The piano sounds like old regrets falling through the floor. The steel guitar keeps crying for the woman I was before. The mirror wears my face, but the sadness wears my skin. Sometimes I hear myself laughing, then wonder who it's been. Depression sleeps beside me, loneliness knows my name. Every morning feels identical, every night repeats the same. The house remembers everything, the silence never lies. Even the moon avoids looking straight into my eyes. I escaped your hands, why can't I escape your voice? You taught my heart to hurt itself, to bleed without a wound, to mistake cold silence for a love that filled the room. You taught me disappearing could feel like keeping peace. Now I'm trying to remember how breathing used to be. If I could meet the girl before she loved you, I'd tell her, you are not difficult, you are not too much. You do not have to shrink to deserve a place beside someone. Love should never sound like fear wearing a familiar face. You taught my heart to hurt itself, but you never owned my soul. Somewhere underneath the sorrow, a small light still glows. It's weak, it's trembling, it barely fills the room. But even the smallest candle can teach the night to move. One felt piano note hangs in the silence. The steel guitar answers like a distant goodbye. Rain fades beyond the window, the heartbeat slows until only breathing remains. You taught me how to disappear. Now I'm learning how to stay. I wore black for a version of myself that never died. I cried over the woman I thought I left behind. I searched through old memories, I called her by old names. I thought the girl I used to be was buried by the pain. I blamed all the endings, I blamed every goodbye. I blamed the empty feeling that followed me at night. But looking in the mirror, through the tears I couldn't hide, I saw someone still breathing, still waiting inside. Sometimes we don't disappear, was looking through my eyes. She was beneath the sadness, she was beneath the fear. She was quietly whispering, I've been waiting here. I didn't need to find her, she never walked away. I just needed to stop believing that pain was all I became. The piano falls slowly, like rain on an old floor. The pedal steel cries softly, like a forgotten door. The acoustic guitar whispers through the midnight air, a song about a woman who is finally learning care. The old room holds memories, but they don't own me now. The ghost still visits sometimes, but they don't know how to make me feel worthless, to make me disappear, because the woman they are chasing is no longer here. Healing is not forgetting, it is finally returning. I was mourning someone who was still alive. I buried all her dreams, but they survived. The world kept moving, the seasons changed, and somewhere underneath she was calling my name. I forgive the heart that broke itself to stay. I forgive the hands that held on anyway. I forgive the tears, I forgive the nights, I forgive the woman who was only trying to survive. I was mourning someone who was still alive. Now I see her clearly, standing by my side. She is not the old me, she is not the pain, she is the woman rising from everything she faced. From everything she faced. The felt piano plays one final fragile melody. The pedal steel cries softly, like a distant memory. Rain slows, morning arrives. I spent so long looking for the person I lost. I never noticed she was looking for me too. She walked through empty streets with a suitcase full of rain, carrying old photographs and a heart full of names. She searched through every memory, she searched through every place, looking for the girl she lost behind another face. She thought home was your heartbeat. She thought home was your arms. She thought losing you forever meant losing all her stars. But the road kept getting longer, and the night kept asking why. How long will you keep searching for something left inside? I was looking for a home and someone who had to leave. I was the girl who forgot the way home, walking through the darkness, feeling completely alone. I followed every memory, I followed every scar, until I found the doorway back to my own heart. I don't need your footsteps to know where I belong. I don't need your voice to know I am strong. The piano cries softly like a midnight lullaby underneath the fading sky. Your picture is still smiling, but it doesn't hurt the same. I can see the beautiful moments without calling back your name. I used to think forever was something I had lost. Now I see that finding myself was worth every cost. The girl who kept on waiting, the girl who couldn't see, was always carrying the answer. She was home inside of me. I was the girl who forgot the way home, but I found the little light that I carried on my own. I found my forgotten laughter, I found my quiet dreams, I found the person underneath the pain and memories. Take my hand on reflection. We don't have to run anymore. We don't need to keep knocking on a closed and empty door. The love we lost was precious, the memories can remain, but my heart belongs to me now, after all the rain. I am the girl who found her way home, not through another person, not through someone else's soul. I carry all the lessons, I carry every scar, and I finally understand. I was never lost that far. I spent so long looking for home. I never knew I was carrying it with me.